Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Mardek, and last time we picked up Vern, a new member of the party, and we made it into the Tainted Grotto here, and I guess we're gonna find ourselves in a battle against some of these bees. And one thing that I wanted to do was ideally get the chance to demonstrate to you one thing that I was talking a little bit about last time, that was that Vern, with one of his offensive reactions, can actually still deal damage, one of the few people who can, against enemies with very strong physical defenses. So that will be somewhat subject to the enemies that we happen to find ourselves going up against, but hopefully we'll have the opportunity to show you how that works. I did also, just now, master Emila's ability to use Flame. She now has permanently gained access to that ability and no longer needs to be equipping the Fire Rod in order to be able to use it. We'll see it's the ooze in particular that we're looking for. That is the enemy that we can demonstrate that aspect of Vern's offensive reactions with. The other thing that I wanted to do before we continue onward is I almost forgot to chat with people in this location, and you can do that with the people we have here, but of course we do have Zach also, who is currently not in the party, so we would have to go back to the healing crystal in order to get access to him. And for that reason, we will double back ever so briefly. There you see that the Phage does have very strong magical defense. Remember, I believe it's 25 actually, so that's why Emila did 0 damage, despite using a type of element in her spell that should have been very effective. Combine that with the Phage's ability to create that physical shield, and it is extremely strong defensively. Physically, it is still weaker than it is magically from a defensive standpoint. Here you see, it's not going to be as obvious, and granted, if Vern misses, there will be no way of noticing how his offensive reactions work. And in fact, Emila will actually deal more damage. She just whacks the Phage. And no need for Power Strike here. Let's just take it out. Emila's actually very close to leveling up. Mardek and Dugan started off, I believe, with 1, maybe even 2 more levels than her at the beginning of this chapter. Oop, that's the wrong direction. However, because Emila has been destroying our opponents, oftentimes multiple in one round, as she may be able to demonstrate here with Bubble, has meant that she's been getting more experience than everyone else, except she got none of them, or at least took out none of them in full. Remember that whoever gets the finishing blow does get the most experience, and so that's why. She's been getting most of the kills, and therefore she's been getting more experience than Mardek and Dugan, and certainly Vern. Huh, this is a little bit odd how much of a life difference there is between all these grills. It is likely due mostly to how we have a level 4 one and a level 4 one, both of which have relatively low HP, whereas the level 7 one will have more HP in total. And that probably means that if we're going to use Dugan with the Power Strike, let's try to take out the strongest one. It's still not enough damage, but hopefully Emila can finish the job. If we get everyone low enough, I think so. We'll continue to use Vern's Smite Evil ability, which we actually did see way back at the very beginning. When we were looking at Hero Mardek, he did have access to that ability, if I remember correctly. This is the hope here, is that Emila can take everyone out like this. And there is that level. Mardek, and particularly Dugan, not far behind. But yeah, so obviously we lost that ability on Mardek once he was no longer Hero Mardek. However, Vern can do it, and it deals that extra damage against Dark Elemental opponents. And so, let's see here. Again, no need to use the Flame ability. We'll just use the Lightning Bolt ability. Flame, again, previously we were potentially going to use that just to level it up, even if we're going against Earth enemies that presumably would be weakest against air. Let's see if we can get this Phage take a powerful hit. Now this is a little bit concerning here. You'll see that some of our characters have defensive magic reactions, Mardek being one of them, or actually, rather, Emla being one of them. However, some of them do not. And also, we saw, I believe for the first time, Emla getting hit with the numbness status effect, which she does not have any resistance to here. It's quite unusual, that status effect. That ability that the balloons use is one of the few in the game that can trigger it. So we're not going to see it too often. If I remember correctly, it prevents you from using physical attacks, which is not terribly relevant for her, so fortunately shouldn't be too big of a deal. We're also relatively close to making it to the safe crystal at this point. But we can double check, yeah. See here, Emla's normal attack is grayed out because she is numb, so I'm not even going to bother removing it right now, because we are about to get rid of it, and it is not really hindering her too much at the moment. And she should be able to absolutely annihilate that. And the balloon juice, I suppose we should have taken the hint, is the type of item, the type of potion, that can remove numbness. Fitting that the ones that apply it are also the ones that can remove it. So let's talk here with our friends, see if they have anything to say about the Tainted Grotto. Watch out for those poisonous monsters in this place. It is best, I would say, to heal poison after battle, rather than during it, lest you just get poisoned again in the same battle, having wasted an item or spell. That's true. For the most part, that has been the strategy. And it is certainly correct that there are lots of things, both in Lifewood, the previous location, and here in the Tainted Grotto, that can apply poison. As for Dugan, you do want to become a knight someday, don't you? Well, of course I do. Why? Well, we, always wanted to be heroes? You allow us to be those? I see. I ask because, well, I'm just wondering if it's something you really want. I've always had this deep passion, this drive to become a hero, to help people, to make my life useful, rather than just wasting and entertaining myself selfishly. But you've always been so much more carefree than I. I also sense that a lot of the time, you've just done things like our games as adventurers when we were little, just because you follow. I'm driven, and I do it, and you do it just because I'm doing it. Don't think I'm criticizing you though, mate. I'm just concerned. I mean, you're in deep now. But you are willing to go all the way? I've had my heart set on this all my life, and I'm eager for it to become my life. Are you sure you wouldn't just feel held back? Imprisoned? Something like that? Well, I don't mind. Helping people will be fun, and knights get shiny armor. I'll be okay. I hope so, mate. I really do. Even if our reasons aren't exactly identical, I'd at least hope that we're both really passionate about this. We can't afford to let people down when our attention runs out. Anyway, I might be getting a bit too deep, eh? Let's just carry on as we are. So there's a good example of a conversation that probably is not specific to this location per se. Let's see if we can talk to Dugan and get something else about his insights as to where we currently are. The air here is making me nauseous. How about you, mate? Well, I think I know what you mean. I'll be glad to be out of here, that's for sure. Still, good adventures must be hardy. Good guards, too. I'll just try to ignore it. So that's Dugan. Let's try Emla. Hello again, Mardek. Did you know that it makes me feel weird when you look at me like that? How you do? Is my face red? How embarrassing. Did you know, Mardek, that you have nice eyes, and nice jawline, and smile, and, skin, and, I didn't see many guys like you back in, Canonia. Yes, that's the place where I totally lived. Well, thanks. You're pretty yourself. Oh, yay! I'm glad. Now, can we carry on? I'm feeling all flushed. Okay, Emla. And again, that was sort of more so a general update from Emla, less so something specific to this location. I feel sick, Mardek. Mind if I, don't speak? It seems to make things worse. So generally speaking, seems as though this location is a little unpleasant. As for Vern, who we of course just recently had join our group, I could have conquered this dungeon even without your help, you know. After a little rest. I am a mighty paladin, after all. Still, your assistance is welcome. Anything about this location specifically? Maybe not. I suppose that could sort of be a 2-for-1 there. Yeah, okay, it was. So, let's do a quick heal and swap, and we can try, seeing if Zach has anything to say. But, well, let's be honest, we probably know how this is going to go at this point. Yeah. Okay, so, I'm trying to think of which person we actually want to have from here on out, and I might go with Zach. Now that we've tested out Vern a little bit, it's debatable here, and you will see why in mere moments. Let's take a quick look at the map and double check, because we are going in the wrong direction here. We want to go to the right and up, and we'll make it into the next area in the Tainted Grotto. And, ooh, okay, more enemies. Just one phage shouldn't really be an issue. Oh, we did, however, I believe, put basically all of Zach's previous gear on other people. So we'll definitely want to take a closer look at that, and not gonna be... Ooh, missed that reaction. My bad. Definitely gonna want to gear him back up. As for whether we need to go back to the save crystal and pick up the stuff that we have since put on Vern, that remains to be seen. Let's double check that. Yeah, there you see his exactly 0 armor. Just his weapon. Could put this chainmail on him. I'm not necessarily sure that that is... Well, he does need the reaction, so I suppose that is something. Is it the best thing for him, per se? Oh, he may not have this mastered yet. He does not? Okay, so... Alright, that's actually fairly useful in that case. Putting those things on him, and he just needs a helmet, if we have another one, which I'm not sure that we do. And one other accessory. Or even the breastplate. Let's see. We could throw this on for some magic defense, which he currently does not have any of, so that might be helpful. And as for this chestplate, let's double check. Does this also have a defensive reaction that he needs? It does. And it's just a better version of this? Let's make that happen, and I'll just make sure that we're dumping the chainmail in Mardek's inventory, because Mardek will always be in the party, whereas, as we were saying before, Zach, sometimes yes, sometimes no. Let's move on here. And like I said, we'll carry on into the next area in the Tainted Grotto. I believe is right up here. Okay, let's take another look at the map. And here, in particular, I highly recommend that you pay very close attention to this map, and you will see why. There are 8 chests here. This is one of the other locations where it is particularly significant. We will see very soon why that is. So, we'll explore a bit down here, and we see the chest there. We can loop our way around to get to it. We can. Except, not so fast. We got some poison bees. Spoiling the party here. And we do know that Zach, of course, has some defensive reactions, so this will be an opportunity to get some experience on those. That's certainly welcome. I suppose we can try to deliberately hit the strongest bee, on the assumption that Zach will be able to take him out in one hit. As we were saying before, Zach, generally speaking, will have the strongest normal attacks. However, his skills, all he has is Berserk, which allows him to make that normal attack even more powerful, however, completely uncontrollable. We can't direct him to attack any specific person, he'll just do whatever he wants to do. Also, that means that, in all likelihood, I think it's basically impossible to have him use any items. And here we have a hempen robe. We did see in a shop a while back. However, we take a closer look here. We will see that it is actually an upgraded version of Emla's current robe. However, Emla unfortunately has not yet mastered her magic defensive reaction with this robe. So we could swap it out, and it would be an upgrade, yes, but ideally she would master this so that she has access to this skill permanently, and then we can swap over to the stronger version and also have access to a new defensive reaction. So short term, it is still beneficial to do it. And so I do think we ought to. And as you'll see here, minus 10% magic defense reaction here is grayed out because she's not currently using the item, doesn't have it equipped. The thing that is giving her access to that was giving her access to that. So, this is what I was referring to. If you look at the map here, you'll find that there is a chest here, directly in front of us. However, there does not appear to be a chest directly in front of us. So what's the deal there? It is entirely hidden, which is why, unless you are clicking on absolutely everything that you walk across, I'm assuming there is next to no way that you will ever notice that there's a trilobite key here, and that is extremely important. So, make sure that you pick that up. And Phoenix Downs here, which may or may not be relevant very soon. What exactly are those trilobite keys? Well, we did see the trilobite cave not long ago. And we did also pick up a trilobite key when we were speaking to Goat in the inn after we rescued him, / decided not to destroy him in the gem mines. Okay, so that is one of the great benefits of Zack's speed, is that on some occasions, because he's so fast, he can attack people before they get the chance to go, meaning that he can take them out before they get the chance to put up their defensive barriers, like the Phage normally would. And I was going to say, watch these balloons attack Emmela with magic attacks and make it so that we would have been able to master that weaker of the magic defense reactions, and then switch over and to the more powerful robe and still have access to both reactions. This is a little preemptive, potentially. Hard to say at this point. There is a reason why I wanted to do it sooner rather than later, and then ultimately we will probably switch back. Oh, I was thinking we'd get a little bit clever there. Just get the finishing blow with Emmela, because we didn't really need all the damage from one of her spells. Dugan, though, says, don't worry about it. I gotcha. Okay, so we go over here, take another look at the map. We'll see there are more chests over here. There's a save crystal over there. There is a reason for that. I will double back to get there in a little bit. This is a circle. Okay, I was gonna say. That was giving me circle vibes. What are circle vibes, you ask? You need to ask? Then you don't know. Oh, except, of course, Zack does need to hit his target if he's gonna do what we were just saying, he has the ability to do. In Mardek, I don't remember, I may have done this when I was not recording, but I swapped around some gear a little bit. Mardek is currently using the bandit leather armor, which is giving him an increased chance of evading his opponent's attacks. So he's working on that magic, or rather physical, defensive reaction. This is Dugan here. Probably means we want to go with a physical attack on one of the phages. They unfortunately did have enough time to put up a shield there. And this is actually a pretty powerful team that we're going up against here, because the phages are very defensive, as we've said before. They already come with a very strong magic defense, which will basically mean Emmela cannot hurt them at all, at least unless she hits them with her wand, rather than using spells. And they also had time to put up physical barriers on all of their party members, meaning that they are strong defensively against basically everything at this point. We can still deal some physical damage, not a ton, so that's still going to be largely the way to go here. I'm a little bit concerned, so I'm just going to make sure that we are healing a little bit preemptively. Definitely would have been helpful to get that reaction in there. Probably would have been enough finish off that phage. And the balloons are the targets that we ought to try to hit with the spells, because we can at least deal some damage with them. Or against them, I should say. Could have targeted both of them simultaneously, and Dugan is poisoned right now. I was thinking that we might deliberately try to pass on healing him for the time being. We are splitting damage here. Reaction meter actually slowed a bit that time. Isn't really supposed to happen, but occasionally if the game frame rate kind of goes faster or slower at given points in time, then that can mess around with it a bit. Which back in the day, when this was a Flash game, used to be way more of a factor than it is now, because, you know, your internet was behaving or misbehaving, and that meant that the meter would go significantly faster or slower, and that was a little bit of an uncertainty that you had to throw into the equation. It meant that it was not always guaranteed that you would nail that reaction every time. Okay, one balloon is almost down. I think we do want to still attack the one that has more HP here, because Emla is the primary source of damage against these guys. There, the meter slowed down a little bit. Fortunately, still did manage to get the reaction in. And there we go. Okay, so yeah, a little bit tricky there, and we actually did ultimately get 2 people poisoned. Not that that's a good thing. So we could either use Mardek's Remove Taint ability, or use an antidote. Take your pick. Here we have more potions. Let's give them to Zach. He has fewer. And if we go up, presumably, that will be where the remaining chests are. Yes, okay. I do remember this one. Believe it or not, the chests, in case you were wondering, they do always have the same items in them. If you see me getting something in the chest, then you should see you getting the same thing in that same chest, assuming that you are playing alongside, or if you've played in the past. Except for the one exception being that this game, once upon a time, when it was in its Flash form, in the early days, was set up a little bit differently, and then when Mardek, I think it was when Mardek 3 came out, the developer also remade Mardek's 1 and 2, back when they were separate chapters and separate games at that point in time. And in that overhaul, did swap around where some of the items were. There we have Mardek reaching level 9. We should double check as to whether any of our leveling characters now have access to new reaction points and therefore new reactions. Mardek has now mastered the antibody ability, which was the passive ability that he was getting from the Snake Stone. He has already mastered Remove Taint. The item gives poison resistance, and that passive ability also gives the 100% poison resistance. So as for who we ought to put it on here, that is a bit of a tough decision. And we actually didn't have an accessory on Emla for a while there. We could throw a copper ring on for 1 defense, or ring of strength, ring of agility. I think I'm gonna go with the copper ring here. Give Mardek far and away our strongest physical defense. And then here at the top, we will find another chest. An iron great blade. If we take a look at that, we'll see it is a great blade, meaning it is a 2-handed sword / greatsword, so it is for Dugan. It is a damage upgrade, simple but powerful greatsword made of iron, and it gives him a new barrier break ability, as well as, like we were saying before, the higher damage. So we will swap that out because Dugan, a while ago, mastered that Earth Slash ability that he was getting from this item. No worries there as to whether or not he is able to swap out at this stage. He certainly is. And we welcome access to that new ability, which we may get the chance to try out here, if Zach does not immediately demolish this guy, which he did. Soon we'll get the chance. Okay. So let us carry on here, and I believe we go up again, except slightly more to the left this time. We will find other things in here of equal value or greater. I don't know. I mean, we found some pretty awesome stuff there. Significant armor upgrade for Emila, and also a significant weapon upgrade for Dugan. Hard to top that. Now, however, I should say, although I'm describing that robe as armor for Emila, it does, however, work for other people, and it is actually the best source of getting those magic defensive reactions, even on characters like Mardek, Dugan, Zack, people who you might associate more with the physical defenses. Now here is Barrier Break, the new ability that Dugan gets with this sword that we just picked up. It's an attack that destroys the physical shield status effect. So you saw earlier, we were talking about how the Phage made some physical barriers, some physical shields, and so this is a way of removing them. It is also a dark elemental attack, which is the first of those we've had access to, and it does use 10 MP, which is relatively high. It's not relevant at the moment. We could theoretically use it just for the sake of trying to master it up. We have done some of that in the past. However, I think we'll have plenty of time to get that done. It only takes, I believe it was 10 uses. And Mardek can deal the damages. Normally, he will not be our primary damage dealer, but he's capable, if necessary. More balloon juice. He's also welcome. Okay, yes, we'll head over here. There's a chest here. Liquid light. Magical potion to restore the sight of magically blinded eyes somehow. Have seen some of that before, and in fact, that was a relatively large stack of 6. And therefore, might be worth splitting that a little bit more amongst our party members. Don't remember if the remove taint ability is capable of removing blind as well. It can only remove some status effects. Poison, of course, being one of them, but blind may or may not be one of the others. I'd have to look at the skill one more time to see for certain. Oh, I meant to do that against both balloons, and then got distracted and missed the reaction for that reason. Hopefully, that won't be an issue. Does mean that one of them will get the chance to get hidden. However, does attack Emila, which does mean Emila has the opportunity to get a little more experience with one of those defensive reactions. At this stage, she probably would have mastered that other defensive reaction that we swapped out. Don't worry, though. We will go back to that. We will likely make sure that she masters that as well. There was a reason for my having swapped over as soon as I did, immediately after picking up the better chestplate, even if it meant that we are short-term sacrificing that other reaction. Here we see another one of these odd-looking circles on the ground. Keep an eye out for those. And the bees, I mean, they are the fastest enemies that we go against. They always will go first. In fact, we can double-check just how close is Zack to matching their agility. They have 21. Zack has 17. It's not totally out of the question, but we would need to speed up Zack considerably for him to be able to outspeed these guys. And certainly outdamage them, though. And Emila oftentimes has been able to take them out in one hit here. And that she does. And that is basically why Emila has been leveling up so quickly. Because she has been able to take out so many so quickly. I did see that Emila has actually taken her fair share of hits here, as has Dugan. Let's make sure we heal up a bit. We are likely, at this point, headed back to that safe crystal. Let's double check as to whether there are any other chests that we may or may not have gotten on the map. 6 of 8, we see that at least one of them is over here on the other side of this location that we have yet to go down. And based on what we've seen already, it doesn't look like there are any other chests remaining. Now, we were talking a little bit earlier about how there was a chest hidden right there that we have since picked up. It didn't appear like a chest when we were looking not on the map. No, it was just basically a pile of slime over here, right there. But if you look on the map, you will always see the indicators for the chest. That will never be hidden. So it's not like there's anything that we are missing if we look on the map. Oh, we are out of MP. That is your one-stop shop. Emla with the crit! Except it's fire elemental, so, actually, I'd have to double-check. These guys healed fire? They do. Actually, okay. So, Emla crit, and I was not paying particularly close attention to the color of the numbers, but it should have been that Emla actually healed them with that hit, and because Emla would normally leech some of the MP, actually she might have reduced her MP when she went for that hit, because she dealt negative damage and therefore leached negative MP. That does happen if and when you leech, or are trying to leech life when you attack an enemy. So presumably it happens with MP as well, however, well, can't say that it's happened to me too often with Emla. We'll deliberately target the one with the most HP here on Mardek, because I don't think Mardek is going to be able to take one out. Oh, Zach might have been able to get that guy had I hit that reaction. So, like, we could take a closer look here. Look very closely at the color of the large circle around this grill and the smaller circle around Emla. Look at which numbers are green. So I think what we'll find is that there are going to be green numbers around the circle around the grill, meaning that the grill is actually getting healed, and then there will be a red circle, or red numbers, for the circle next to Emla, meaning that she's actually losing MP. You can also look at her MP listed here. She's at 2. And yes, goes down to 0, meaning she did actually negative leech, unleash her MP, and heal the grill. So was it a good idea? No, but in the name of science, we have now confirmed. Again, we could theoretically opt for a barrier break here if we felt so inclined. Well, maybe we should have. If he does have another turn, Dugan, then we'll give him the opportunity to demonstrate that. Granted, you have Zach is actually fairly hurt here. I don't think that the grill is going to be able to take him out in one hit, and we are also currently standing mere feet away from a save crystal, so not terribly concerned about that at the moment. And we actually, on this instance, for that reason, probably want to wait for Emla, meaning just pass our turn altogether, because we would heal the grill if we were to attack him, we would unleash our own MP, so that's not helpful. Could use a potion or some other item, but like I was saying, I don't necessarily think that we need one of those right now. And now let's demonstrate the barrier break. So, its extra bonus is that it destroys that physical shield, and obviously this grill does not currently have a physical shield, so it will mostly just be a dark attack. That's what it looks like. Okay, and now we will go to that save crystal, and we will save, and I think we will end here for the moment, because this is probably a significant moment in time. I mean, why would they have a random heal save crystal right in the middle of a cave like this? Even though we're in the middle of a floor, usually that stuff only happens when you're, like, you know, about to go into a boss fight or something. Who knows? But anyways, I'll see you next time.